Alrighty, so for motion number 2, we could be standing, but for the purpose of this video, I will do it in a kneeling position. Alright, so what we want to do here, hypothetically I'm standing up, alright, but since I'm in a landscape view, I'd like you guys to see what my hips are doing, more importantly, and my rib cage. So a very important function if we're trying to move better is to understand that when we rotate, our rotation does not happen with the hips following the rib cage, right? But the thing is, a lot of us perform our rotational movements that way because we've lost an inability to find thoracic rotation, and that is trying to keep the hips in a fixed position as we rotate through the spine here. All right, so what we're gonna do from here moving on forward is we're gonna try to disassociate the hips from the rib cage, and we can do so by a couple of different ways. All right, so for the first one, as I'm standing or in a kneeling position, as you can see, I want to think about my right hip trying to move forward, but trying to keep my torso in position. All right, so my left hip's moving forward, both of my ribs are staying still. Okay, so you want to think about your right hip trying to get to your left rib, coming back to neutral position, and then your left hip trying to get to your right rib. Alright, so you do this a couple times just to get the feel for the hip in that motion in that plane. Alright, another one you can do is a little lateral tilt. So you can go left hip coming up nice and tall, back to neutral. Right hip hiking up, nice and tall, back to neutral. Alright, so we can do 5 to 6 on the left hip, 5 to 6 on the right hip, and again with the hike, 5 to 6 on the left hip, 5 to 6 on the right hip. Alright, so as we go through this one, the next function will be figuring out how to move the ribs as the hips stay still now, which is one of the main functions of when we're running, right? The hips want to maintain stability as we go through, as we run, primarily in the sagittal plane, and then the rotation from the ribs is going to allow us to get more of an arm drive. So as we go through here, think about the right rib, trying to get to the left hand as the hips stay still. And then I want to think about my left rib getting to my right hand as my hips stay still. Alright, once we get 5 to 6 on the left side, 5 to 6 on the right side, we can look to integrate them. So then my next step moving forward would be thinking of how I can bring both of these contralateral ends together towards a fixed midpoint. So what I want to do from here is think about my left hip trying to meet my right rib. Alright, so I'm in a neutral position. And then as I rotate my left hip, I try to get my right rib to that, and then I try to come back at the same time. Vice versa, I'm going to try to get my right rib to my left rib to my right hip, and then come back to neutral at the same time. So as I go through these motions, step by step, we can look at how we can disassociate the hips from the T-spine, and then furthermore, as we move forward and go through our rotational bouts, that we can look at enhancing the quality, reducing stress on the lumbar spine and disc, and then increasing our overall capacity to distribute stress throughout the body. Please give those a try. Comment below if you guys have any questions. I look forward to hearing any improvements you have made in your posture or your ability to rotate and move. Have a great day.